Now, history is a very fragile thing. Most of us don't realize, just like everything else, it ages. And we have two professionals who's been doing this for 20 years, and it is my honor to interview them in this podcast, where we will be going into a deep dive and finding out what makes them tick and how they proceed in their work day to day in the past 20 years. So today we have Madhura and Anna. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
One of the things I really generally want to do and to know, and because I got a chance to see your presentation last week before this particular recording, was what inspired the both of you to get into this very complex and dare I say even niche field of work?
We can start through my childhood sometimes, where I was always inclined towards fine art. So always had a dream to go into art background, where I could be doing some paintings or portraits, and that's how I landed up in Sir J.J. School of Art, which is a major institution in Mumbai for fine arts and overall art. And after doing my graduation, there was only two fields where the students would go. That is, one is into teaching and the other was into animation sometimes, or doing their own private solo shows. So after learning for 5 years, we actually know about something about us, that we cannot do that. It was in the mind that this is not my forte, but I wanted to do something else, where one of our professors suggested this course of conservation. And during 2001, there was no internet, there was no Google to search on what exactly conservation was. But we just generally knew that it is generally for cleaning paintings or doing something for the old artifacts. That's what was our knowledge was. But after getting to know about the course in detail, we thought, we both actually were interested into that, and that's how we landed up into the conservation field, which attracted us so much, rather than doing the solo shows and the teaching part actually.
Wow, okay. So is your inspiration similar to Madhura's, or so you guys are and you've been working together since the very beginning. You studied together as well.
From 1996.
And was it the same, like both of you had no idea what it was? I mean, a general idea.
Yes, actually during that time there was nobody in Mumbai who could actually tell
All
us
over India,
what,
very few.
very few.
You can count on.
I mean, that's what I was saying, it's niche.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know if that was offensive. I was like, it's actually quite niche. You know? And you both do it really well, because when you were showing during that workshop about your processes, it's so meticulous, and I'll be honest, I can't do it. The meticulousness that you had this vase or vase, and it was shattered into a billion pieces, and the next photo was like, you guys restored it. There's like no damage at all, you know. So when you first discovered and worked in this field, was there a moment when you're like, aha, so that's what this is really about?
Yes, it's actually during the training courses in India, where the teaching course was actually on each and every different subject regarding painting conservation, regarding ceramic conservation, metal conservation, different fields. So that's how we actually get to know each field, and then actually get to know what exactly your liking is. And then
which part?
On which part you would
there are
like
many
to.
parts.
Yeah, there are many parts.
Well, guide me as someone who is not well versed in this. So how many parts, or what are the different variations of your field?
Paintings.
Painting conservation.
Painting content, oil painting, paper, canvas, or any other surface, than the textile, than the wood, than the metal, ceramic, pottery, bronze.
But you guys do everything.
Yes. Textile.
Wait. So which means, because I was looking at your presentation, you do paintings, wood, sculptures, metals, coins.
We have to actually, because as India is very vast into the historical background, and there are too many artifacts for us everywhere, all over India. So in Europe or UK, you have people, conservators just working on one subject for years and years. They are specialized in that, no doubt. But in India, that is not the case, because we have different types of objects everywhere. So concentrating on only one subject would be not okay actually, because that's the demand. We have to do everything, whatever comes into our way, because every museum has different types of artworks, and the conservators are very less.
Right.
Because
so
that
we need
is
to
the main
exceed our skill and the parts also.
And I heard there was only 10,000 conservators.
It might be, yes.
Roughly
Even,
10,000, maybe 20,000 only in all of India.
Yes, it might be, because right now there are institutions which train students for being conservator, but during our time there were very less. So the output of conservators coming out is very limited, and the part of objects and the historic things are way too much. So that's how we actually gained our expertise into every little field, years and years. So accordingly we learned how to do paper and palm leaf manuscripts, then how paintings are done, like going on to each subject with a detailed study. That's how these years we are doing.
You both learned through trial by fire.
Yes.
Wow. And the thing is, like, this is something that I've learned since meeting you both and talking to different museum practitioners, not just in Malaysia. We're talking about all of Southeast Asia, Jakarta, Thailand, Singapore. They mentioned to me that one of the errors that they'd done previously was they did a lot of consultation, or they brought conservators from Europe. Yes. And I'm not demeaning their ability at all, but it's because of the weather, right? In Europe, it's 4 seasons, it's cold, as opposed to those who were developed their skills in India. They understand that in Malaysia, which is where we're in right now, our weather is very similar to India.
Yes.
I mean, not exactly, but very similar. So if you
even we can call it Mumbai to Bombay, and
very
the same.
Yeah, it's
almost
the same.
same.
Almost the same.
So does that play a huge, because the thing is, again, speak to me like I'm a 5-year-old, how much of that is a huge factor? Like, say if I had a porcelain teacup in this weather versus European weather, like how is that going to change?
First of all, whatever the research is, whatever the conservation excellence is mostly in Europe and UK, because they are the major, because they are doing it for a very long time. India has just started it, like not many years, like I think it from 80s, 1980s we are into the conservation things. So it's not much of a history in conservation, but we mostly depend upon the researches which the Europeans and the UK people do, and those products are actually used into the conservation field. But sometimes our weather alters that, because they have a very cold climate, so their materials might not exactly be used here, but then we have to adapt. There are some things which we need to adapt during our treatments, where we continue doing what is right, because it's their research actually, it's not our research. So based on that research, we develop some things in our weather so that we are on the same line.
Does that also mean that those who are conservators in Europe maybe the type of equipment or maybe the mold that they use is based on things that is made for their weather or from where they're from, as opposed to, because one of the things that I love is that you both are very adaptable. You came to Malaysia and you were like, oh, it's fine. We will source out everything we need here.
Right.
Yes.
We will not, because that billions and millions has been spent on like importing from Europe to here, because obviously you're comfortable with what you use, but you both had found everything you needed to preserve in this Penang State Museum locally.
Yes.
Yeah, most of the things we have sourced locally. That is actually our, you say, specialty, if you can say.
Is that not a common thing?
No.
No, because most of the things people do order from outside, and
One to end.
and
Yeah. With
the
equipment,
material, the equipments,
They
yes.
try to same apply.
But it is not possible everywhere, because we both have traveled so much in India. As it is, even in India, we don't get to get material sourced from outside.
Sometimes liquid is a ban to
So
transport, courier.
we cannot use that.
So the fact that you didn't have it, it's like, what was the saying? Necessity is the mother of invention.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
So was there at any point where you had gone to a particular piece and you're like, oh dear, I don't know what to do, and then you just scouted out and then you got in school? Was there any one particular moment for you at any point in your career where you were just like, this was hard, but my God, I found a way?
There are many actually, because wherever we travel, we cannot take every material along with us. Like here also, we have got only the material which is absolutely necessary for conservation, which is ours, and which is actually the international standards for use for international standard of conservation. But as for chemicals, we can get it in every city.
The chemical is same.
It's the same.
It's the same one.
And it's just the company is different. Sometimes you have to have, like here we had to have the dental plaster, which is also available everywhere. We just have to search it and you can get it. And that is the best thing, because then we can, whatever the material is like, if we need more, we can always get it. If we got it from India, it would have been difficult to get it expensive.
And expensive too.
And we generally think that getting it from local always helps.
Wow. So in that instance, then, one thing I want to also understand, because there's two of you.
Right.
How does the division of labor work? How do you guys organize? Because you're the superstars here.
Yes.
How do you organize each other? Like one person does all the paintings and the metals, and the other person does all the wood. Or
it's actually unsaid.
Oh, it's not.
We just
go with the flow.
With a plan.
Yeah, we go with the flow, but we know our plus points and minus points. So that's
plus points and minus points.
So I'm generally good in doing retouchings. So always.
I will cover the mechanical thing.
He is the technical and mechanical.
I'm a very technical guy.
So always everything technical and mechanical goes there. But not necessary always. I can help it too, because I know that. And sometimes he also does the retouching because he knows that. But preferably we just divide our work and
so anyone start the work, second will continue the work.
Third
will finish the work.
So who usually starts it first? You or you?
It
depends on the object.
It depends actually.
Wow, that's interesting.
We have two types. One frame different, painting different.
So
I remove the frame, start the work on frame. She is starting on the painting. The next day again join the molding some other parts, just like.
And the thing is, going back to what you mentioned, where India had a rich history, and actually a history that
and vast collection.
Wow.
Vast collection.
How did that factor in? Because when I was looking at your presentation, when I was in the audience, I noticed that you went across from French paintings to religious iconography to burnt to a crisp doors and sculptures. You know, so how do you think the fact that you were doing your craft in one of the most culturally rich countries in the world affected your career, as opposed to, like, say, you were in Denmark?
Not actually.
No, that doesn't actually. It's every artwork for us. Every artwork is important.
Yeah, and as a part of history.
Yeah, every artwork has an history. Everything. It has a story to
Today's
tell.
present is future, or from the past.
Wow,
History.
that is really
Yeah.
deep. That's quite.
So every artwork,
Anything related to culture, also related to personal, also is sometime narration the history.
yeah, it is a
process.
story to. Everything has a story to tell. So. Be it historic artwork, or be it a very contemporary painting, or be it a personal collection, every artwork has the same value for us. It's not that only the historic will be given a very different angle, or the contemporary will be given a different angle. For us, every object in our eye is a history. So we
Even
look
personal,
at it as
personal also is to connect it to history.
so we always think about what exactly has happened to the work, and how it was before coming to us, and we should preserve, that is our motto, that we should preserve what exactly was the case when it was in the olden times, or maybe before it was coming to us. So we have to go a little to research sometimes, or we have to search it on Google sometimes what exactly, because as you said, there was a vase which was scattered into pieces, and we didn't have an
Luckily
image.
we don't have any image, even the client has.
And even the client didn't have. So we don't know exactly what the artwork is. So unless we go deep and just start doing the jigsaw puzzle together, only then we know what exactly the artwork will be coming out. Sometimes it happens that way.
So it happened naturally.
Yeah,
Yeah.